Welcome to Undiet Your Coaching Practice podcast. I'm Stephanie Dozier, clinical nutritionist, certified intuitive eating counselor, and creator of the Going to Beyond the Food method. And after a 25-year dieting career, I decided to say hell no to diet culture and undiet my life, which also included my coaching practice. I'm on a mission to help all coaches undiet not only their life, but their coaching business. If you want to throw down diet culture, you're in the right place. Ready, sisters? Let's do this. Hello, my dear sister colleague. Welcome back. Stephanie Dozier here, a clinical nutritionist. Today, we're going to talk all things marketing. And I can already hear you. Yeah, do we really have to talk about this? I don't like marketing. It's yucky. That's not why I took my degree. I don't like marketing, Stephanie. Please save me. Oh, I hear it all the time. And I was there too. One of the thought that I had when I went from the corporate world to opening my first clinic in the health sector, I somehow thought that I wouldn't have to do marketing anymore. And that reality lasted about a month. And then it came back when I hired my business coach who said, you realize that about 30% of your time should be spent on marketing. I'm like, what? That's not what I signed up for. So why does it feel so yucky, so salesy, so painful to have to market your business? I think I know why. It's because we're approaching marketing in the non-diet world in a diet culture way. Oh, I know. Swear word, right? But that's the reality, right? We are not changing or learning new marketing approach that's specially crafted and designed for our unique clientele. And we're using tactics and strategy from the diet culture world that feels yucky. So I have two words for you. Let's talk about marketing from a place of love instead of fear. If you've been with me for a while, you've been listening or following my work, you heard me talk about this so many times. I call it the life filter. Choose from a place of love instead of fear. And yeah, that not only applies for my practice, but it applies also for business. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to take a look at the 3 pillars of a successful non-diet marketing strategy that will provide you with clients that are ready to stop dieting. I can hear the clapping, right? How many of you have landed on consultation call with people that are not even willing to learn how to not diet? They're not even willing to hear. They're landing on your consultation call wanting to lose weight and wanting you to teach them how to do this. Been there? If that's you, it's because your marketing is broken. So stay tuned to this episode. Here's what we're going to cover. We're going to kind of step back into reminding each other, where does your marketing strategy fits in with your overall business strategy? Then we're going to look at the 3 pillars of building your marketing strategy, and then some training options for you. Now, before I go into this podcast, I just want to let everyone know I have about 20 minutes to teach you about marketing, which is barely feasible. It's not barely, it's impossible. So we recorded in May 2020 a business marketing webinar. It's an hour and 15 minutes. And this segment of the podcast is part of it. So if you want to go and get the recording of this webinar, you are welcome to do so. It's called the 7-Step Blueprint to build a profitable non-diet business and attract clients that are ready to stop dieting. You can go to the show note or to stephaniedozier.com/pro series. You'll give me your email and I'll send you the recording. There's 2 other webinars that may be available for you to grab as well, the recording, depending of when you're listening to this. As always, let's start first by understanding marketing, right? I always like to ground any type of my episode, whatever their business or client related, what the heck are we talking about first? So marketing is the art of making change happen. Change in our client. Marketing attracts people that you're going to put through your process to create a transformation for them. But it's also change in our revenue, right? I've said that in the first 2 episodes. If you haven't listened to the first 2 episodes, we talked about why we need to get our money mindset straight, because not making money in our business means we will not be able to sustain a practice and we'll have to go find another job. So we have to make money. Now, it doesn't have to feel yucky. We'll talk about how, but marketing is the art of creating a revenue for yourself and creating transformation for your client. Now, the success of your marketing strategy lies within the overall non-diet business strategy. A marketing strategy, let me repeat this. A marketing strategy is part of an overall business strategy and it's got to fit in. So do you have one of those? This is very relevant if you're transitioning your business to the non-diet model. You need to build a brand new business strategy. If you don't have one, you may want to go back and listen to episode 1 and 2. Now, an effective marketing strategy, it will help you tell a compelling story about your offer, your product, in a way that will help your niche market, your future client or patient, connect to your offer or product with a strong desire to commit. Commitment is the purchase in our case. For client to be successful in their transformation, they need to commit resources. Resources in our case is money, right? The commitment of their financial resources will lead to the transformation that they want, and it will lead to you creating a revenue in your business. So it's an exchange. I'm talking money mindset business here. We are exchanging services and transformation for revenue, and we do that through our marketing strategy. The first part of your marketing strategy needs to be in your overall business strategy. So one element of your overall business strategy is your ideal client. Who do you target? Who is she? Who is he? Mostly she. Why is she with you? Now, this is so important. We're not going to talk about ideal client here today, but you need to spend a lot of time figuring out who she is, her fears, her goals, her dreams, her irrational thought. Just to put it in perspective for you, we spend an entire module of the Mentorship Program, which is about 3 to 4 weeks, just on your ideal client. Because once you've got that, it's 50% of the work. But you got to spend the time crafting your ideal client. Now, once you've got that, you're ready to launch into your marketing strategy. So what are the 3 pillars of your non-diet marketing strategy? Number 1, ideal client readiness. Pillar number 2, emotional connection. And pillar number 3, nurturing. We're going to start with pillar 1, ideal client readiness. Let's look at the 2 most often observed mistakes among the people that I mentor with regards to this pillar. Mistake number 1, trying to please everyone with your marketing. You are in such level of fear that you don't want to narrow your marketing to fit your ideal client because you're afraid you're not going to make any money. So you're trying to please everyone. When I do consultation and I observe that in their marketing, I know that they don't have a solid business strategy, that they haven't done their work in understanding who their ideal client is. So they're talking to everyone. The mom, the dad, the 60-year-old woman, the 20-year-old woman, the 40-year-old woman, the mother, the single woman, they're everywhere. They look like a chicken with no head running around. If that's you, you got to start back at the business strategy and create your ideal client first, and then come back to marketing after. So we're still in pillar number 1, ideal client readiness, right? And that's mistake number 2, is that women health entrepreneur that want to do a non-diet business try to convince the world to do the non-diet approach. And they're trying hard. They're on Facebook Live. They're writing email about how everyone needs to go to the non-diet approach and how you should do it. And if you don't do it, you're a bad person. Listen, your ideal client needs to be ready for the non-diet message. If your client or the person you're talking to is still deeply entrenched in diet culture, then it will be, and it is, a complete waste of your time and resources to market to them. Your ideal client needs to be open to the new approach. Time and time again, women, non-diet health entrepreneurs make these mistakes because they operate from a place of fear instead of love. And when we talk about it, women will say, well, if I don't, then I'm not going to have any client. I'm not going to have enough revenue. I'm going to have to go back to an old job. Listen, that's the opposite. By you not having a solid marketing message that is targeted to your ideal client that is ready, you're actually repelling people. And listen, I've done this mistake time and time over. And I want to invite you seriously to really narrow down your message to your ideal client that is ready. They may not know what the non-diet approach is, but they're ready to hear you talk about another option. So this pillar of ideal client readiness requires that you connect to your ideal client and your unique niche market for those that are ready. Now, in the mentorship program and also in the webinar that I talked about earlier, I help you see that through the transtheorical model of change, the transformation model that most of you have probably studied with your education as a health professional, right? There's 6 stages of transformation in behavioral changes, right? Just a quick refresh here: pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, maintenance, and relapse. Your marketing strategy needs to speak to people, your ideal client, in contemplation. People that are willing to hear something new. Not the people in pre-contemplation. If the woman that you're talking to in your marketing is still on a diet and believe that she should be losing weight at any cost, she's not in contemplation in the world of the non-diet approach. And you trying to convince her not to be on a diet, it's not going to work, and it's going to cause you to not attract those that are ready. Can you see that? Now, once you figure out who's your ideal client and a readiness, then how do you speak to this client? And this is when we come to pillar number 2, emotional connection. You need to speak from your heart to their heart. You need to connect with your future client that is ready from a place of emotion. Our future client has been used and abused by diet culture in the weight loss industry. They've tried and bought everything out of desperation, fear, and fear-based marketing. You talking to them like the weight loss industry and diet culture was talking to them will lead to them, your future client, not trusting you. You need to change the way you speak in your marketing. Emotional marketing, which is really what I'm talking about here, refer to marketing messages and advertising effort that are done based on emotion, that talks in a narrative of, I've been there. I know how you feel. I was feeling like this too. You don't have to feel like this. It's about using their feelings to help them commit to your product and to your services. Emotional marketing taps into this innate human desire to feel. And this is not only relevant because we are in a non-diet approach, but it's also relevant because at this point in our field, 90% of our ideal client are women. And this, we could have a completely different discourse in 5 years or 10 years from now, but this is where the game is at right now. And women are emotional beings. So when we speak to them from a place of emotion, we have a greater chance of connecting with them and a deeper connection. So a emotional marketing message validates the way they feel, and you can show them how they can feel different in the future after they commit to your product. Now, emotional marketing is the way to go in a non-diet business, but trust me, we're not the only business that thrives on emotional marketing. So, I like studies and I like science, but guess what? There's a lot of science behind marketing too. There's a lot of studies that are being done on marketing, and studies are clear that people buy 36% more when they're confronted with an emotional marketing message versus a rational message. And if you know anything about the way that the brain function and neuroscience, you know why. Because our action, the purchase of a product, the action, the behavior we take comes from the way we feel. So we will take action-based fear. Like if we have a fear-based marketing, we will take action out of fear. And we can also take action from a place of love. And this is what we're aiming for here with an emotional marketing. Now, here's the other important part of emotional marketing is that it inspires people to act. And it encourages more interaction between you and your ideal client in the journey of the customer because they connect with you emotionally. They feel like they know you, and they do know you because you share your story and your emotion all the time. You have a longer journey with your client. That's why when we look at an advanced non-diet business model, we do have like the first layer of product, but very often we will find many other product underneath because people that take the first step with you will stay with you through their entire healing journey. They will not bounce back and forth because they've connected with you emotionally. You have to craft your skill of storytelling, right? If you're not a good writer yet, you will become, just take me. If you were the other day, I was looking at my email newsletter from 6 years ago. And I was like, oh my God, I wrote so bad back then because, I wasn't a writer. That's not what I was doing for 15 years in the corporate world, right? I was a coach, a business coach. I was an operation vice president. I was all rational. And all of a sudden I was thrown into this world of marketing and I had to write from my heart. Ugh, it was tough. The first few years were tough, but get started now. Get started telling your story. Perhaps while you have a small audience, get your craft on and it will pay off big time in the future. So we've got our first two pillars. Let's move on to the third pillar. And that one I call nurturing, right? So we have focus on our ideal client that is ready. We've connected with them emotionally. Now they're in our funnel, right? So if you're not familiar with the term funnel, the funnel, think of it like a funnel, right? The funnel you would use to pour a liquid in a bottle. Think of your marketing strategy like a funnel. It takes the world, which is at the top of your funnel, and then puts them through a process so at the end they become your client or your patient. This funnel is where you nurture people. This is where you deepen your connection with your future client. This is where you're going to educate the crap out of people. Now, this is the key here, right? Although people are willing to hear a new approach, the non-diet approach, intuitive eating, body image healing, mindset, all of that, they still don't know what it is. So this is another big thing that I have to overcome all the time I start with a new business client. Understand that your level of knowledge, your level of expertise is not what or where your ideal client is at. They have no clue, most of them, what the heck is intuitive eating. Intuitive what? Right? Body neutrality? What the heck is that? Weight neutral approach to health at every size? No clue. So they may be interested at hearing from you, but they're surely not ready to press buy. That's what the funnel is at. You got to put them through a process of educating them, of nurturing them, sending them a series of email explaining to them your approach and the benefit of it and the outcome of it, right? Perhaps audio series, podcasts, blogging. In the mentorship program, we call that our communication channel. We're going to educate, and educate. When you think you're done educating, educate some more. And when you think you're done, educate some more. We have women in front of us, our future client, that have 20, 30, 40 years of diet culture, deep programming. And for them to be willing to commit one more time money for food and body, they will need some education. That's why I say when you think you're done educating, educate some more. Because remember, people think that we're completely crazy. That's the truth. If you're a client listening to this right now, a regular listener, you're like, yeah, when I met Stephanie, I thought she was completely crazy. I get that all the time. People think we're crazy. What do you mean not dieting? Impossible. Been dieting my whole life. Right? You got to remember that. We're crazy to the world. So we have to nurture and educate. So these were the 3 pillars of your marketing strategy: ideal client readiness, emotional connection, and nurturing. So I'm going to wrap it up and remind you to go get the entire webinar if you want to get some more. The 7-step blueprint to build a quickly and profitable non-diet business and attract client ready to stop dieting. You can go to stephaniedodier.com/pro series. So there you have it. I hope you learned. Now you can go and apply, right? This applied in the sense that you can go and take your notes and start changing your marketing message and how you build your marketing strategy. Or you can also consider joining the Beyond the Food Pro Mentorship Program, which is my eye-level business mentorship program for women health entrepreneurs who want to take their business to the non-diet model of care or want to perform better in their non-diet business model. This 6 months journey is both business and professional skill set. So we cover intuitive eating, body neutrality, mindset, emotional intelligence, and mindfulness, and then also the business aspect of this journey. That's why it's called a mentorship program. So the next episode will be called, ready? The root cause. And this is a hats off to my former training in functional medicine, where we were always looking for the root cause, but we never looked at that one. So I'm going to show you and teach you the root cause of it all. All of our clients that are struggling with food and weight and body have this one root cause in common. So you got to come back next week for this episode. I love you, sister, and I look forward to hang out with you in the next podcast episode. Ready to shed diet culture from your practice and help more clients do the same? Awesome. We've got 3 resources to get you started. Simply go to stephaniedodier.com/pro series, all in one word, and access our 3 free training classes that are currently available. We also have a free PDF guide to intuitive eating, an article about the non-diet approach. We also offer a variety of paid programs throughout the year to support you in your journey to undiet your coaching practice. Join us at stephaniedodier.com/pro series, and I'll see you on the other side.